Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm co-founder of the Soma Space here in Oswestry in Shropshire, and I'm a psychotherapist and a fitness and boxercise and Tai Chi instructor. And in this film, I thought I'd put together a series of thoughts I have about Tai Chi, something that I've been practicing and learning for about 10 years and been instructing for a couple of years now. And I just thought I'd share some stuff about Tai Chi, something of my learning journey with it, and a number of things I think are really, really important to sort of share about Tai Chi, particularly if you're, let's say, beginning your Tai Chi journey or you're interested in it, you kind of want to know a bit more about this rather strange but magical martial art. That's what this film is. I think there are about 12 things I think are really important, things that have really, really made sense to me as I've learned and practiced Tai Chi. So here goes. Number one. It teaches you patience. I think this is really important to say. A lot of Tai Chi, as you probably know, is about moving very slowly. And in that respect, simply doing Tai Chi slows us down. One of the points of Tai Chi is it's often called a moving meditation, but if we practice it slowly, it kind of slows everything down. I try to do everything far too fast in my own life. I've always been a bit too, let's say, rapid, but practicing Tai Chi has really helped me to kind of slow everything down, particularly in times when I've been very frantic, you know. The other thing is that it teaches patience. This is really important because it's actually quite a slow thing to learn. It takes quite a long time to learn even basic Tai Chi. Don't let this put you off. There's something really valuable in this, which is that, let's say you might start going to a class and kind of for quite a long time think, what on earth is going on? Is my hand in this position or is it like that? And where's my foot? And it's all very confusing and baffling. And I'd say it's probably 6 weeks, 2 months, maybe even 3 months before things really begin to make sense. And then if you carry on doing it, it's a real process of learning about patience, learning to be patient with yourself, learning to be patient with the exercise as you learn it. So that's the first thing. Number one, it teaches patience and it slows you down. Tai Chi is a martial art. It's based in fighting. This is something that I think gets a little bit overlooked in the practice of Tai Chi, and let's say how Tai Chi sort of appears culturally. When I started learning, which was 2015, 11 years ago, I went to a class in Bristol, and the instructor there was teaching the Wudang style, a guy called Andy. He was an amazing instructor. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just thought, I'll try this Tai Chi thing. I've heard about it. It's good. It's supposed to be something to do with chilling out or relaxing or breathing. I had no idea at all. Went along, started going to his class, and started learning a few of the very basic movements. And one day I said to Andy, look, can you show me this whole thing? And he performed what's called a form. I think it was the Wudang 13 form, which is a series of stepping movements. And it was absolutely amazing. I watched this guy do it, probably took 5 or 6 minutes. And he was sort of moving and kicking and turning around and sinking and rising, all sorts of different things. And it was just mesmerizing. And it was almost as if I could kind of see the invisible outline of the opponent that he was fighting with. Obviously, Tai Chi's, it's not a contact martial art, it's more of a sort of self-practice, opponentless thing, but it was really amazing to watch. And I just thought, wow, that is absolutely incredible. It's beautiful. You know when you watch someone like a ballerina or a dancer or someone who's really, really good at something perform, you think, wow, it's kind of breathtaking. So it really caught my imagination, and it really sort of brought home to me that Tai Chi, it's not practiced particularly as self-defense, but it can be. But fundamentally, it's a martial art. And perhaps the important thing is there's 2 parts to that. The martial side, to do with fighting or self-defense or combat, and then the art. You put them together, you have something really, really beautiful. Third thing about Tai Chi is you can do it anywhere. You can practice your stances, you can practice very sort of slight internal movements, small movements. You can do it anywhere. I often practice my stances when I'm standing on, empty railway platforms. And I think that's because something else in my Tai Chi journey, I think it was 2015 as well. I was taking a train down to the Eden Project and had to change at Taunton. in Somerset, is Taunton. And I was sitting on the platform, and I could see on the opposite platform there was a guy. He just sort of stood up and started making all these strange stepping movements. And I was like, what is that? What's he doing? He's just doing it on his own, sort of middle-aged guy with a blazer on and a briefcase. And I thought, that must be Tai Chi. And then he finished doing this just on his own, completely oblivious, wasn't interested in whether anyone was watching or didn't seem embarrassed at all. It was amazing. And then he ended up in this, he put himself into this posture like this, which is I now know it's a meditation posture called Zan Zhuang, and he just stood there. And I was absolutely captivated. I thought, what is going on here? What is this thing? Is this Tai Chi? And that was part of my learning journey, or part of the inspiration for me to explore Tai Chi. And then, so these days, I often find I'll probably go for a walk and maybe stop and do a bit of movement, perhaps when no one's looking. I'm quite self-conscious, but the point is, you can do it anywhere. You can do it at home, you can do it out, you can do it in public, you can do it in private. You don't need anything, there's no equipment. It's simply something that you can carry around with you and practice anywhere you fancy. Tai Chi perhaps is perceived as something that's about stretching and about flexibility and about being calm, and yes, it's definitely all of those things. It's also something that makes us strong. It sort of changes our relationship both with the body that we have and also with the idea of strength. Certainly I've noticed for the 10 years that I've been learning and practicing Tai Chi, my body has changed a bit. It's become strong in ways that I didn't quite anticipate, certainly in lower body strength and particularly core strength as well. In Tai Chi there are 6 or 7 fundamental stances that we learn and practice, and 2 or 3 of them that are used all the time, and simply practicing these stances makes us very strong in the lower body. There's one called Tai Chi stance, which is the sort of basic stance, standing with your feet hip width apart in parallel, softening your knees, sinking down. And the more you do this, the more you notice that it sort of transfers into all of your other movements. I noticed how I occupy space, how I feel about my body has all changed because of practicing Tai Chi in a very, very rewarding way, certainly I feel. So Tai Chi, it does make you strong, it does make you flexible, it does make you calm, it does slow you down, but it also changes something of your relationship with your body, how you stand, how you move, in all sorts of very, very intriguing ways. Another thing about Tai Chi, and this is one of the things I love about it the most, is that it's practically endless. And what I mean by that is there's almost no end to what you can learn in Tai Chi. There are 5 or 6 sort of major schools or styles of Tai Chi. What I practice and teach is Yang style, which is the most widespread style around the world, but there's also Wu and Wudang and Sun and Chen. And each of these schools have different forms in them. They have a form is a sort of sequence of stepping movements that you learn and practice. In the Yang style, there's the 8-step, and then there's the 24-step, and there's the 108-step. I practiced the 8-step and the 24-step. I did get 2/3 of the way through learning the 108-step twice, but things got in the way and I didn't complete it. But it's almost endless, and there's also using a staff, there's also using a fan, there's also using a sword or a saber, and there's also pushing hands, which is a type of partner practice in Tai Chi. So there's always more to learn, which means that you can never master it, and that's really good. For me, what I like about Tai Chi is that the more I do it, the more I realise there's so much more that I can't do and want to learn about, and also what I can do, I want to continue working on it, continue progressing it, continue perfecting it, advancing it, all that kind of thing. There's always something to work on in Tai Chi. One thing I discovered recently was that the word Kung Fu, this Chinese word, it doesn't mean martial arts, or that this is one way of understanding it. What Chinese people, when you see people, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Kung Fu, explosive battles, Bruce Lee, that's, for Chinese people, it's called Wushu. Kung Fu is different. Kung Fu's, as I understand it, is more an idea of like obsessive practice, of like dedicating yourself to this thing that you want to just keep doing all the time. That's Kung Fu. Gong Fu, as it's sometimes called. And I really like this idea because I don't know what it is about Tai Chi that always makes me want to do more of it and practice it and perfect it and learn it and find out more. I'm always looking on TikTok and Instagram and seeing particularly Chinese practitioners doing amazing things, and I'm like, wow, how do they do that, you know? Watch the video 10 times, try and figure it out, come into the space or stay at home and work on it. There's always something to work on. It's endless. You can't master it. And that, let's say, it makes you sort of humble. You kind of think, okay, was it Socrates? All I know is that I know nothing. All I know in Tai Chi is the things that I can just about do, even after practicing for 10 years, but I'm well aware that there's just so much more that I'd like to try. Something else I think is really important with Tai Chi is that it totally sort of reconsiders the idea of effort. If you think about sport, physical activity, it's often seen as, you know, grunting and really pushing and no pain, no gain, that whole mentality. Good, it's really good. It's great to do that. But Tai Chi is very different because it's almost about changing the idea of effort itself. So it's actually the softer we are when we practice Tai Chi, the more gentle, the slow, that's what we're looking to do. And paradoxically, it's through being softer that we get more stronger. Movements become more powerful when we do them more softly. This is the central paradox of Tai Chi. It's quite hard to get your head around, but one way, I think, two ways of thinking about this, in fact. There's a principle, it's called Wu Wei, and it's a principle from Taoism, and it means actionless action, doing something without any action. Bit of a paradox. The way to understand this, I remember hearing this from one of the instructors I was learning with a few years ago. They said, move with will, not force. So if you think about moving with will instead of force, it sort of begins to make sense. So in this sense, Tai Chi completely changes the idea of effort. The less effort you put into it, it's a bit like swimming, the less effort you put into it, the better it is.